Pete'sTools.com.
G'day guys, Pete from Pete's Tools. Awesome to see you here again today. Another beautiful day over my side of the world. Hey, you know when you get your nice new Mig Welder and you're out in your shed and you turn it on for the first time and you're all into it and you want to get it going and all the rest of it, and you pick up the gun and you're going to weld some shit together and then it starts popping and spitting and doing all sorts of horrible shit and you say, oh, why did I waste my money buying this? Anyway, Pete's going to give you a couple of tips today, show you how to get around that and get you welding like a pro in no time at all. Well, I wouldn't say welding like a pro, being able to stick shit together anyway like I do. Anyway guys, same as usual, like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, come say good day to the old get in the comments below, and let's get into it, eh? Yeehaw! Of course my welder's about 10 years old guys, it's an analog version. I've got my voltmeter here and my amp meter here, and as you can see it's really hard to see that because it's absolutely filthy, but you guys with them, if you got a modern machine, you might have a digital readout which makes your life a lot easier, but I don't even look at this really anymore. What I do to start off with, if it's spluttering and it's spurting and it's doing all sorts of horrible stuff and you can feel it in the gun vibrating like that and you're just a newbie to MIG welding, what I would do, this is just me personally, I would just set the voltage here to half and I'd set the speed to half to start off with, and that way you can play with the thing and then you can just learn to feel it and you can back off one or increase one or back off the other or whatever. Anyway guys, we'll do a bit of welding and I'll show you what I mean. Rightio guys, this is with those settings, about halfway each, halfway on the speed and halfway on the voltage. Yeah, it's ugly and horrible. See that guys, it's pretty lumpy and it's just sitting on top, it's not really penetrated anything. You can actually feel it going bang, 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 bang with the gun, like it's popping and it's spitting. So what I'll do now guys is go back to the welder and then back the wire speed off just a little bit. Just back it off 1. Right now we've dropped the wire speed by 1. Let's have a look at this. Starting to sound a bit better guys, can you hear that? It's even starting to look a bit better. Did you hear the sound difference? Can you see the difference here? This is sort of all lumpy and shit. And this is actually starting to smooth out a bit like that, but we're still way too high. So what I'll do again is I'll leave the power the same and I'll go and turn the wire speed down another 1. Right now guys, I've got the voltage the same and I've got the wire speed at 3. See that guys, it's still quite high. I just want to spread it out a little bit more, but you can actually see it's not a bad sort of weld, and you can see the heat around here as well. Can you see that guys? If you look at the first one, there's a lot of soot and shit around here and there's not really any heat penetration. If you look at the second one, there's a bit of heat penetration here, and then look at the third one, there's even more here. So what you basically got to do guys is just play with those two controls. Leave like your amps at halfway, that's what I do anyway, and then vary your wire speed until you can get a feel of it, and you'll actually get the feel of it, you'll feel it and you'll hear it and it will just feel so much better. Let me just turn up the voltage a fraction on this wire speed. Right guys, I've just turned that voltage up a fraction on the same wire speed. We'll see what it sounds like now and see if it looks any different. Sounds a lot better. Can you hear how that sounds guys? You can hear it sounds, it sort of sounds like something frying on the stove. Can you hear that? It's sort of... See, that's not too bad now. It's still quite a high weld, but as you can see around here guys, see the heat penetration coming around here, which is a lot different to what it was here. You can see how wide this penetration is compared to here, and the top one is just disgusting. So now what we'll do is I won't touch the welder at all, right? And then I'll do another weld, and then you watch what happens. See, we're starting to spit again. And why is that guys? See, this is starting to look really ugly again. It's starting to look like this or this. Why this is, guys, it's because I held the torch too far back. What I did is I had too much stick out. Like I was holding the torch back here, which is, you shouldn't do that. You need to hold your torch right up as close as you can so that your shielding gas actually shields it. Here, I'll do another weld. Exactly the same settings again, guys, but I'll go a bit closer with my torch. Hear the difference? Hear that, guys? It doesn't pop, it just makes that nice noise again. So there you go, that's what Pete does anyway. And I'll give you another tip that I've learned also, guys, is the earth lead here, your ground clamp. I'm a bugger for just clamping it onto my table, you know, like so, or just, because I'm running a steel table, so I just clamp it anywhere on the table. But what you should do really is put it onto the work that you're welding, so the current hasn't got so far to go, and also that your earth clamp won't get so hot, because the earth clamps get really, really hot. This one does anyway, especially if I clamp it on the table. The further you are away from where you're welding, the hotter your earth's going to get. Anyway, we'll give it another go, and I'll do some welding with the earth like that, with the settings the same. So guys, I've got my earth clamp here, and we'll see if that makes any difference. Once again, we're still quite high on that weld, but it sounds a lot better, it feels a lot nicer. Your gun's not bang, 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 bang. Hasn't got a hell of a lot of splatter, as you can see. There's virtually no splatter here, and it's got quite good heat penetration there, as you can see. So the closer you can get your earth clamp to your work, the better. Like I say, I'm a bugger just for clipping it on the table, but you shouldn't really do that, guys. Anyway, but I do, eh? Also, another thing, guys, if you're trying to weld onto rusty shit like this, it doesn't really work. It spits and spats and does all sorts of horrible stuff. Same as painted stuff. You can burn a little bit of paint off, but if you got thick paint or rust, it's just going to contaminate your weld. So that's why I just get the angle grinder and clean it up a little bit. It just saves a lot of aggravation, eh? So guys, that's what I did when I first learned to MIG weld. I mean, it's not rocket science, and I'm no welder by any stretch of the imagination, but it helped me out anyway. It's just leave your knobs in a certain place to start off with, and only move one at a time basically until you get the hang of it. And it's a bit of an art. You'll get the hang of it, and then you can just tweak it and do whatever you want, and then you'll know just by the way your gun behaves what knob you should be twiddling. Anyway, that's it for what it's worth. Same as usual, guys. You like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, and come say good day in the comments below, and we'll see you next time, eh? Bye.
Pete'sTools.com